On May 18th, 2021, Rockstar made a Newswire post. If you don't know what Newswire is, it is where Rockstar posts news relating to their games. Most of the time, it just consists of boring GTA Online garbage. But on very rare occasions, Rockstar posts a newswire that actually has something interesting in it. This is one of those very rare occasions. The article is titled, "Details on New Updates to GTA Online and Red Dead Online. Plus Grand Theft Auto 5 coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS on November 11th. And more." At first, the article just talks about stuff relating to GTA Online and Red Dead Online. But then, things get a little more interesting once you scroll down. The expanded and enhanced versions of Grand Theft Auto 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online are arriving on PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series XS with new features and more, on November 11th, 2021. As an added bonus, this summer's updates to GTA Online will include special benefits for players to take advantage of in these expanded and enhanced versions when they drop. Okay, first things first, this part is not true. But anyways, this was the first update we had gotten for expanded and enhanced since the June 2020 trailer, which was almost a year ago at the time. Between these two dates, we had gotten no new information about the game. Complete radio silence. Even then, the only new information we have here is a release date. In the first trailer, the game had a vague release date, simply stating that the game would be released in the second half of 2021. Now, we finally had a release date for the game, November 11th, 2021. A release date that would soon go to something else instead. Speaking of which, Rockstar would also drop this piece of information into the article, the only reason why this newswire is really notable. Plus, in honor of the upcoming 20th anniversary of the genre-defining Grand Theft Auto 3, we'll have even more fun surprises to share, including some specifically for GTA Online players. Indeed, GTA 3's 20th anniversary would later occur in October 2021, and the fact that they said there were only some surprises specifically for GTA Online implied that there would be other surprises not relating to GTA Online. I wonder what those fun surprises could be. I sure hope they end up being fantastic, and not a complete and utter joke. Let's not be ridiculous. GTA 3's 20th anniversary will be an anniversary to remember. It's not like they're gonna take the 3 games that made them famous and make a mockery out of all of them, or anything like that. Anyways, after this post, we would go back to having complete radio silence for GTA 5 expanded and enhanced. There were two thoughts running in my head as to why we had gotten almost no information for the game. Number 1. Rockstar was adding a lot of new things into the game to make it different and unique from the 8th gen versions, but they wanted to keep it a secret to prevent spoiling any surprises. Number 2. The game would have little to no differences from the 8th gen versions, meaning there was no point in advertising the game. Take a wild guess which one I was hoping would happen, and which one ended up happening instead. A few months after the newswire was published, things would get even worse than they already were. In early September, PlayStation announced a showcase that would occur on the 9th, showing off new games and updates for previously announced games. Even though I don't own a PS4 or a PS5, I still decided to watch the showcase anyways, and there were a lot of pretty cool announcements made during the showcase, such as the Wolverine game, and Spider-Man 2. Among the many announcements made during the showcase though, was a trailer, and not just any other trailer, the trailer. During the showcase, Rockstar released the second, and final trailer, for GTA 5 expanded and enhanced. And if you could believe it, this trailer would somehow be even worse than the first trailer. Unfortunately, to prevent any copyright issues, I cannot show any footage of the trailer, so I have to resort to using screenshots from the trailer instead. It might not make my points as strong, but it's the only option I have. Before we dissect the trailer, let me remind you all that this trailer came out over a year after the first trailer, and the only new information we got for the game in between the first trailer and the second trailer was a release date that would go to something else instead, not long after this trailer was released. With that in mind, let's have an analysis of the trailer. One of the first shots we get of the trailer is Lester sitting on a chair, and if you look closely, you can see that the chair is duplicated. Now, I don't remember when this cutscene exactly occurs in the game, but I can assure you that the chair is not meant to look like that. The fact that they left this obvious graphical glitch in the trailer should already tell you what kind of garbage we're about to be getting ourselves into. But don't worry, it gets even better. The trailer then has the nerve to say this: "Welcome back to Los Santos." What are you talking about? We never left Los Santos. We've been stuck in Los Santos since 2013. If anything, we wanna get out of Los Santos. I swear, they added this line in as a cruel joke. It's as if they know that they are milking the game, but they are still milking it anyways, just to spite us. They then advertise that this version of the game has improved graphics, which is not true at all, because it looks exactly the same as the 8th gen versions. Remember when I talked about that graphics comparison video they made, where they showed the differences between the 7th gen versions and the 8th gen versions graphically? Notice how they never did that with this new version of the game? That's because the difference is barely visible. It doesn't make any sense. The Xbox One and the PS4 are more powerful than the Xbox 360 and the PS3. It makes sense for them to upgrade the graphics for those versions, since they could show how powerful the 8th generation systems were, and what they were capable of doing graphically. Following that, the Xbox Series X and the PS5 are more powerful than the Xbox One and the PS4. So you think they would further update the graphics for the game. But no, it looks almost exactly the same as the 8th gen versions. Again, I don't make a big deal about graphics in video games, but come on, this is just false advertising. After some more footage, the trailer gives you this, and enhanced gameplay. How is the gameplay enhanced? There's nothing that makes the gameplay for this version any different from the previous versions. They couldn't elaborate on how the gameplay is enhanced? No, of course not. Also, take a nice long look at that rear view mirror. Wow, those graphics sure do look improved. It's incredible seeing what the Xbox Series X and PS5 are capable of when it comes to graphics. We've come a long way from the Xbox 360 and PS3 versions that most likely had the same low quality rear view mirror reflections. Okay, sarcasm aside, allow me to make my point more clear. In GTA 5, reflections are a bit weird, to put it bluntly. If you go up to a window in the game, you'll notice that the reflection is essentially a lower quality version of the map. It's not as easy to see, but this applies to rear view mirrors as well. It looks pretty bad regardless of which generation of the game you're playing, but I suppose it gets a pass for the 7th gen versions, due to the technical limitations of the Xbox 360 and PS3. It looks worse on the 8th gen versions, since I imagine the Xbox One and PS4 are strong enough to have better looking reflections. But whatever. On the 9th gen versions though, it looks absolutely unacceptable, and it makes the previous claims of improved graphics even more false than they already were. After some more footage, the trailer states that this new version will have seamless character switching. You can't be serious. Does this game have so little changes from the 8th gen version that they have to advertise this like it's a new feature exclusive to this version? Wow, that is pathetic. Going back to the 8th gen version, one of the things they advertised for that version when it was about to come out was a first-person mode. See, that's something worth advertising. A new feature that helps make the game feel more fresh. Something that would convince people that already bought the 7th gen version to buy the game again. This, on the other hand, is not a new feature. Okay, let me explain something. Back when I played GTA 5 on my cousin's Xbox One, the game would take forever to start up, and sometimes, whenever I would switch to a different character, it would take a while for the game to switch to that character. That was on the Xbox One. I now have an Xbox Series X, which is more powerful than the Xbox One, and I own the Xbox One version of GTA 5. Because the Xbox Series X is more powerful than the Xbox One, that means the load times are better. If I loaded up GTA 5, it would immediately start up after a few seconds. I wouldn't have to wait a minute or two for the game to load, like on the Xbox One. I am sure everything that I just said also applies for the PS4 and PS5. Additionally, Character switching is already seamless if you play an 8th gen version of the game on a 9th gen system, because the 9th gen systems have better load times than the 8th gen systems, which only makes this statement even more redundant than it already is. Oh yeah, I'm surprised that I haven't mentioned this yet, but the 8th gen versions of the game are playable on 9th gen systems. You can play the Xbox One version of the game on the Xbox Series X, with no problems, and you can play the PS4 version of the game on the PS5, with no problems. So why do these versions of the game even exist in the first place? Especially since they have literally no differences from the 8th gen versions. The trailer then advertises explosive action. I think you mean expired action. The action in this game is no longer explosive, since it's the same action that we've been playing for almost an entire decade. Whatever events that occur in the game, that felt fresh when it first came out, now feel stale and predictable. I don't know why I'm thinking there are people out there that still care about the story mode in this day and age, but that's beside the point. After that, we get a brief shot of Franklin driving a car, and if you look closely, you can see that the license plates are yellow instead of white. Admittedly, this isn't as bad of a graphical glitch as Lester's double chair, but still, it's a graphical glitch nonetheless. I remember there was a theory going around that the license plate contained a hidden tease for GTA 6, as if you look closely, you can see that the plate says 6 is a late 90, implying that GTA 6 would take place in the late 90s. It wouldn't be weird for Rockstar to do this, since previous GTA games took place in certain years. Vice City took place in 1984, and San Andreas took place in 1992. But remember, don't take every little thing you see as a GTA 6 hint. This is most likely just a coincidence and nothing else. After that, the trailer tells us, and much more. No, you can't do that. Throughout the trailer, you have given us no new information, no valid reason for any of us to purchase GTA 5 again for the second or third time. You can't give us this vague statement, and expect us to be okay with it. We know that you're lying to us with this line. Everything that occurred in the trailer prior to this line proves this. Shame on you, Rockstar. Shame on you. And so, the trailer comes to an end, or at least it seemed that way, because Rockstar includes this part. Also experience. Well, what could this be? When I first watched this trailer, I genuinely thought that this would be a double trailer, showing both GTA 5 expanded and enhanced, and whatever Rockstar would do for GTA 3's 20th anniversary. After all, the trailer was released a little over a month before the anniversary would occur. It would have been a perfect time to announce what they would do, and it would have made up for the garbage that we just watched. But no, this is for GTA Online. Because of course it is. All that we get is a small 10-second clip of someone walking up to a window and seeing an explosion, and that's it. You know, considering the fact that GTA Online is Rockstar's cash cow, I am genuinely surprised that this is all that they show off for GTA Online. The trailer overall had a greater focus on the story mode compared to GTA Online, which would be a good thing if, you know, there was actual new content added to the story mode. And then, as a final insult to the audience, the trailer ends with the only new information about the game that the trailer will give us: a new release date. Instead of coming out on November 11th, the game is now coming out in March 2022. Considering how little changes there were in the trailer, one must wonder why they decided to delay the game. Now that I think about it, why were they going to release the game in November 2021 in the first place? This should have been a launch title for the Xbox Series X and PS5. At least then, it would have been considerably less bad. To the surprise of literally no one, the trailer was panned by fans, even more so than the first trailer. Not only did this trailer get more dislikes than likes, it also got more dislikes than the first trailer. That's how angry people were at Rockstar. Many people across YouTube expressed their frustrations towards Rockstar for this trailer, and the internet resumed posting memes about Rockstar refusing to move on from GTA 5. It was an embarrassing time to be a fan of them. And soon after, it would become an even more embarrassing time. But that story has nothing to do with GTA 5. Oh wait, I almost forgot. Throughout the entire trailer, they never once refer to the game as expanded and enhanced. In both the first trailer, and in the Newswire article, they refer to this version of the game as expanded and enhanced, but not in this trailer. Wow. It's like they decided to stop lying to us. They knew that this was gonna be almost exactly the same as the Xbox One and PS4 versions, and by the time this trailer came out, there was no point in continuing the lie. But anyways, from September 2021 to March 2022, we would get no new information about the game, as if there was any new information they could have given us. Eventually though, this godforsaken version of the game would finally be released. March 15th, 2022, Grand Theft Auto 5 is finally released to the world, on the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5, and nobody cares whatsoever. On the day of its release, Rockstar released the third and final trailer for this version of the game, and hopefully, it will turn out to be the final trailer for GTA 5 in general, and it ends up getting more dislikes than likes. Why am I not surprised? Anyways, because the game was now released, we finally had 100% confirmation that this was nothing more than a lazy port of the 8th gen version. This is footage from the 9th gen version. Do you see any differences? Because I sure don't. The only big difference this version has, is that it runs at 60 FPS. Oh wow, that totally justifies releasing the game for a third time. I am definitely going to spend another $60 on this version of the game just for that. I sure am glad they re-released the game for the third time to have better frame rate, and literally no other differences. It gets even better, since none of the 3 trailers or the Newswire mention the improved frame rate. Wow, the one new thing that this version of the game has, and they don't even advertise it. That is actually insane. Okay, being serious, this version would get negative reviews from fans. Are you surprised? I don't know why you would be. Let's go on to Metacritic, and compare the scores that every single version of the game has. The Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, and PlayStation 4 versions all have the same ratings. A Metascore of 97, and a user score of 8.3, and they are all considered Metacritic must-plays. Great, those are fantastic scores, and they are well deserved. The Xbox One version is slightly different. It still has a Metascore of 97, but the user score is lowered down to 7.9, and this version of the game is not considered a Metacritic must-play. I'm not sure why this version has a lower score, but whatever. 7.9 is still a great score. This is probably just some console war nonsense. The PC version also has a slightly lower, but still really good score, having a Metascore of 96, and a user score of 7.8, and it is considered a Metacritic must-play. Now, let's see the 9th gen versions. For starters, neither version of the game is considered a Metacritic must-play, so we're already off to a not-so-good start. Let's start with the Xbox Series X version. The Xbox Series X version of the game has a fairly good Metascore of 79, and a user score of, get this, 3.5. Yeah, fans really weren't happy about this new version, but it gets even better when you see the PS5 version's score. It has a slightly higher Metascore of 81, but an even lower user score of 2.5. Now, I don't want to get into the whole debate about whether review bombing is a good thing or a bad thing, but in this instance, it is most definitely a good thing. Unfortunately, Rockstar would get their revenge shortly after the game's release. Not long after the game was released, Rockstar announced this, introducing GTA Plus for GTA Online, a new membership program exclusively on PS5 and Xbox Series XS, providing easy access to a range of valuable benefits for both new and long-standing players on the latest generation consoles. Launching March 29th. Wow, a subscription service for GTA Online. This is totally what the fans wanted, not a new GTA game or anything like that. Again, this shouldn't come as a surprise, but this announcement received further backlash from fans. It was already extremely obvious that these versions of the game were only made so that Rockstar could further milk GTA Online, but this was taking things to the next level. Nobody wanted this. Nobody was asking for a subscription service for GTA Online. Nobody was asking for a 9th gen version of GTA 5 to begin with, and from what I've seen of it, GTA Plus has nothing new or interesting to offer. It only exists so that Rockstar could continue milking GTA Online. Well, imagine spending $60 on a game that you most likely already own. Except this time, it has slightly better frame rate, and a subscription service for its online mode. What a joke. The sad thing is, there's a good chance that many ignorant kids bought this anyways. They steal their parents' credit card, and buy this 9th gen cash grab, as well as this excuse to keep the game alive longer than it needs to be. Actually, most kids that bought this version, only bought it because of GTA Online. You really think anyone still cares about the story mode for the game? Especially since the storyline has no differences from the previous versions of the game? I don't even know why they bothered porting both the story mode and GTA Online. They should have only ported GTA Online, and call it a day. And you know what? I'm not even 100% against the idea of porting GTA 5 onto 9th gen systems. The existence of these two games could have been justified if Rockstar did one simple thing: add new content. Add new content. Keep the game fresh. Keep the game interesting. Keep the game relevant. And I'm not talking about GTA Online. No, I'm talking about the story mode. Rockstar had the ability to add new content to the story mode for this version. They had the ability to further improve the graphics to show off what the Xbox Series X and PlayStation 5 are capable of. The game could have lived up to its unofficial subtitle, expanded and enhanced. But no. Instead, the game has virtually no differences from its 8th gen counterparts. At the very least, they could have added little changes to the map to make it feel more alive. You wanna know what I liked about GTA 4 compared to GTA 5? In GTA 4, you could go inside of certain places. You could go inside of restaurants and eat in them, or mess around in them. You can't do that in GTA 5. Restaurants are just part of the background, and you can't go inside of them whatsoever. It might not seem like a big deal, but it does make the map of GTA 5 feel a little more lifeless compared to GTA 4. It's fine that you can't go inside of them on the 7th gen versions, because of limitations, but on the 8th gen versions, and especially the 9th gen versions, it's unacceptable. Of course, you are still able to go inside of certain areas in GTA 5, but my main point is that they should have updated the map for this new version of the game, that runs on stronger hardware, so that we could go inside of more places. It feels like a huge missed opportunity. I'll go into more detail as to how the 9th gen versions could have been good later on. But yeah, it's pathetic looking at this version of the game, and how it does nothing to make the game still feel fresh after almost a decade since it was first released. Anyways, now that I'm done talking about the rise and fall of GTA 5, let's talk about how I personally feel about GTA 5 nowadays.